Alright, yo, what's up? We out here with the mogul, the tenderpreneur, the culture, the cat that's in the pockets of the city,
Slicker.
who brings back the city. Osmic, the silent killer.
What up, brother?
What's up, D?
It could be better, man. It could be better, man.
Firstly, man, you about to do the hip hop summit, right?
Yeah.
They say hip hop summit. Question I gotta ask: are we ready for a hip hop summit?
Well, before we decided to do the summit, first of all, you must understand the summit was an idea that came out like a month ago, literally. And then I asked questions. I said, "Hey, do you think SA Hip Hop is ready for a summit?" And in that
Niggas
post,
said yes because they're not paying for it, but yes.
but in that post,
Yeah.
we had literally about 3,000 comments, and those 3,000 comments always saying yes, we're ready for SA Hip Hop Summit. And I also felt definitely we're ready. The reason why is because being in the background and interacting with all sorts of characters within the culture, from I'm the most famous to I'm the most trying to be famous to I'm the most underground, and
I'm the most fuck fan.
To the most I'm a b-boy original to I'm a dancer to I'm a graffiti artist, the culture as a whole. So it gave me like an interesting insight where I was seeing things, and also coming from a position where I was able to see the culture grow, from 0 to 100. And when I say the culture, I'm talking across from the graffiti guys to the b-boy guys, to the designers, to the rappers, to the producer, because in all those spheres I was always involved from day one. So seeing the growth, seeing the challenges, seeing the winnings, to me it was fitting to say, you know what, we need to sit down now under one roof and start discussing, because I feel that there's a lot of problems that I think either we're not aware of or we just don't care about them. We've had the SA Hip Hop Awards. We were in one roof, and under one roof we gave each other awards and patted each other in the back. But the question is, for the guys who don't win or the guys that didn't make it, they go home with all sorts of thoughts. You know what I'm saying? So that's why this platform is there.
Alright, so my black ass is sitting going, man, if you never won, that meant you weren't good enough to win. Or that means you never had any vote. It got nothing to do with nothing. I'm just saying, you know what I mean? People weren't checking for you. It happens.
Yeah.
Is it necessary? I don't know whether
but now remember,
that. So my black ass is going, how is the summit going to answer that for me?
Yeah.
So what am I going to get from the summit?
Cool, but now remember, I'm talking about awards is just one example. I'm talking about now the guys that didn't make it.
Yeah.
Because when we came up, there was thousands of us, but the ones that made it is like 20. You know what I'm saying?
So are we looking at business? Are we looking at brands? Are we looking at under the roof of this conversation, when you walk out there, what are you trying to achieve? Yeah, because it's one thing to say some guys never made it. There's many reasons why guys don't make it, and a lot of it is because of themselves. Yeah, because they ain't working hard enough, right?
Not really.
No, well, and they're not working hard enough to find the information also.
Not really.
Tell me then. Tell me. This is why we need to have a summit. Tell me why.
True. I think hip hop has never been in a space of a solution finding and researching itself, because if you look at it as from the history of it, we always hit the ground running. Yeah. You never look to the left, looking. You always out so-called grinding, and But the thing is, there's you must understand that this culture has also fucked a lot of people up, more than the people that have won. You know what I'm saying?
Are you saying that in what ways?
In such a way that you must understand that the culture is very it's the minute you jump into this hip hop thing, it consumes you. It could either consume you in a negative way, it could consume you in a positive way. Some of us obviously are a bit lucky because it consumed us in a positive way, but there's a lot of guys that it has consumed them in a negative way. And there's a lot of kids right now that that are consuming the culture in a very negative way. You've seen the kids coming in drinking lean, Smoking. I mean, back in our days, it was a cool thing to smoke weed and to drink and to look very dirty and to do funny things because you thought that's how hip hop in the States was, But now it's even more hectic because you find, kids is having kids is dropping out of school because they feel that they too can make it, And these are the sort of issues that we need to start sitting down and addressing. And the reason also I've got some of the captains of the industries and guys that have been doing it for long. It's for them to sit down and actually tell these kids, like, guys, it's not all peaches and cream at the end of the day, There's a lot of thought that goes into it. You need to be careful of X, Y. Because another thing that I found that's wrong with the culture is a lot of peer pressure. Hip-hop brings a lot of that peer pressure thing. We're going out, we've got honeys, we're drinking, let's smoke weed. And you got a poor kid, man, who knows nothing about this lifestyle because he's trying to fit in. He also went and bought Jordans, Air Ones, what do they call them?
Air Force Ones.
Those ones, you know what I'm saying?
Adidas.
So you'll never know,
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So these are the sort of things that I think the culture needs to start addressing,
Yeah.
And we're obviously talking from business, we're talking from cultural background, we're talking from being black youth, especially being black youth post 94, because we never think about it, what mindfuck that is, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So these are the sort of issues that we're trying to address.
Look, I mean, I think it's unfair to make hip hop carry the burden of people's liking things and using hip hop the wrong way, because they might use house the wrong way. They might use. It's just that if a person likes, gets addicted to something,
Yeah.
don't blame hip hop. It's just that's who your character is.
No, it's
You know what
not.
I mean?
No, it's not.
No.
Let me tell you why.
All right,
Let me tell you why.
Yeah.
Because you know how you got to think of it. You got to think of it as how did we get hip hop in South Africa?
Yeah.
We got hip hop in South Africa from a page, from a magazine,
Yeah.
and from a TV screen. That's where we got it from,
Yeah.
right? And all these things that were happening in these mediums, we perceive that that's hip hop.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So back then, when you saw Wu-Tang Clan wearing Timberlands, wearing baggy clothes, when you saw on what's those magazines, on Source magazines,
Source
on
Mag,
Double
Double
XL,
XL, Rap Pages.
on Rap Pages,
Yeah.
when you saw the
Rap
look
Sheets.
and you're seeing these videos, guys are chilling in the corner, smoking weed in the video, they're giving each other pounds and what. You took that influence.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's automatically how you consume the culture. But it's getting a little bit more dangerous now
So you're
because
saying that like today kids are seeing lean, they're seeing this, they're seeing that, and to me keep it real with you also. Like let me keep it real with you. Everything is about upbringing also, right?
True.
I mean, I feel that like hip hop saved me, but my mother raised me.
True.
Hip hop. My mother could have raised me, but she wouldn't have been able to get me to where I am but it was because of hip hop.
Yeah.
So I was raised to know that don't blame hip hop when you're smoking. You just a smoker. I had an older brother who was a smoker, who was doing all this shit.
Yeah.
In fact, I grew up in a hood where like niggas was just doing some crazy shit from my house to house, and them niggas weren't listening to hip hop. It's just the community they came from.
But the problem,
so for me, it's like making hip hop carry it. I think is literally like wrong, unless you're saying hip hop can create a solution to say, listen, this is the way you can build yourself. We're not about that. Because as much as I grew up on the Red Man, I grew up on all the crazy shit from rap. But my hood was already crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But that's why I'm saying is, I think the one thing you're not factoring in, which is very important, which I keep bringing up, is this thing called peer pressure. You know what I'm saying? Yes, you might have come from a better environment than X and Y, but X and Y, let's be honest, 80% of us come from crazy fucked up backgrounds. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's easy for you to be influenced by all these things because you're trying to fit in, So for me, it makes the most sense for us to start tackling it now, because once again, hip hop, as much as it always claims to teach, we teach just because you're rapping and you're dropping a song and then you're going to tell me we're teaching. So I feel like it's about that time where we sit down and we argue these points out and we show these kids the light.
Okay, I appreciate you using hip hop to show the light.
Sure.
But I don't appreciate you saying that hip hop influences kids to be using lean because that's what they see. You know what I mean? Because I will tell you one thing. I listened to Tupac, but what was happening to my friends in real life when I was young was realer than any rap song. Because I had to imagine what the gangsters were doing with the NWA, but I knew what was happening in my hood with the guys I grew up with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I already knew that, like, I came from an environment where rap or no rap, if I don't actually like make a decision that, like, if I don't try to make something on my life, I'm gonna fall back.
Yeah.
It's just, and that's got nothing to do with rap. But if you're saying hip hop can help us to show people the light, I agree with you. But I don't want you to say, yo, kids, see lean. Those kids, Batandi see.
No. But you see what you're doing right now.
I'll tell you why.
Okay,
I'll tell you why. Because peer pressure, if you can also be pressured by a song also.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
But in this instance, we're talking about the things that are happening in the culture. And hence I'm saying to you is that it's my observation from, remember what I said, it's my observation from when the culture was from zero, right? And when I say the culture, you maybe might be talking on a perspective of a rapper, but I'm talking from a perspective of a person that has 360'd the culture. If I'm talking about the graffiti kids, you don't know that shit that those kids is crazy. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about the dancers, the old school, some of those old school b-boys. You know what I'm saying? So it's the point of all of this thing is that you cannot just say hip hop is that thing that'll always influence everyone in a positive light. It's got a lot of negative, and the more we start seeing these things and the more we start accepting these things, the more we can try coming up with these solutions.
But I always feel that hip hop is literally like an expression of where people come from.
That's true.
Hip hop is a byproduct of behavior.
True.
Hip hop is not the behavior. It doesn't create behavior. So for me, when you say all the negative, that negative is a byproduct of people's environments, in my opinion. So if that hip hop, if that is literally like like people's behavior, hip hop can't carry the fault. Hip hop can be the solution, though, to make you see the light, though. Because hear me out, though.
Okay.
Hear me out. The world is already fucked up, B.
True.
Don't blame it on hip hop. Hip hop will only say the world is fucked up. Hip hop will only say the world is so fucked up we're taking lean. The world is so fucked up we're smoking weed. The world is so fucked up we're making so much money. We got so much. Hip hop will say what's happening. And then you'll get the guys who fake it, who think that like, oh, okay, those guys are the guys who like literally like will fall for anything.
Okay. So what you're telling me right now,
right,
in this current day and age, what's the date today?
Today is definitely the whatever day, but
okay.
You get it.
Well, for whoever's watching this 100 years from now, just know we existed.
Yeah.
It's 2016 right now. And what you're
yeah.
telling me is...
On the 9th of September.
On the 9th of September.
Yeah,
right?
9th of September.
Whatever it is today.
Yeah.
What you're telling me is an 8-year, 9-year-old, 10-year-old that watches TV and sees Lil Wayne drinking lean, and then there's like big booty bitches and he's smacking and he's calling women bitch and this. You telling me that once this kid likes seeing him wearing Air Force what? 2?
Yeah, Air Force
Ones.
Yeah.
Wearing Air Force Ones and all baggied up with tattoos everywhere. What you telling me is there is no way that kid, when he turns 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, is going to want to replicate what he was seeing on TV. Is that what you're saying?
What I'm telling you is that depending on, and this also starts becoming like a thing that's bigger than hip-hop, how the kid is raised. If you are raised in a family where you can see all those things, but all the time they pull you back, they say that's not who you are. It's like me saying that just because everybody talks like, I was watching all these American shows and I go, my nigga, we all chilling. Because I watch it, now I'm trying to imitate it, but all the time I'm sitting in my house, Sinclair's in my car, and then they go, that's not who you are.
Yeah.
Then they bring you back. And that's only if there is a thing to bring you back. But if you're a kid that's 8 years old that can watch TV on your phone, that means you've got data. That means that there's probably even a resource that can go, that's not who you are. So even though you can want to be it, it's not who you are. So all I'm saying is that even though Lil Wayne comes from an environment that literally like has gone to that level and they're expressing who they are. Don't blame hip hop.
But you see, Slicker, you keep trying to make, for instance, yourself as a reference.
I'm
And
not talking about it.
no, you are.
Use
But
that 8-year-old,
no, true.
bro, and
But I'm trying to show you what
I'm
I'm trying to show you is you need to really be fair to 2016 and look around you. And you cannot say these kids are not influenced by a lot of negative that's happening outside. And that stuff is coming from the culture, irregardless what kind of background you come from.
You made enough money from hip hop. Now you made enough money from hip hop.
That is why.
Getting at us now.
No. But that is the reason why. That is the reason why, right? For instance, when I came into the culture, you must understand that some of the first things that I did 16, 17 years ago, when I did a magazine, right? Believe it or not, as an argument we were having with someone in the office the other day, I knew that in this point in time the culture would be here because of seeing what was happening, seeing the league club scene. Even though the league club scene was not even the thing that made me really believe. When I saw the Gandhi Square scene, where there was thousands of us at Gandhi Square and we're in a circle while I'm beatboxing and dudes is rapping and there's thousands of kids, I saw it, I understood, and I saw, you know what, there's a possibility for this thing becoming bigger than we think it is, you know. And the thing is, for me then, I'm in a position to say, well, because the only thing I've done in my whole life, in my entire life, is hip-hop, right? A person like me is a bit in danger, because if at some point in time this culture starts going sideways, I'm fucked. I gotta go type a CV. So it only makes sense for me to start saying, guys, we need to somehow put another 50, 80 years into this thing.
Okay, so let me ask you. I agree with you. Okay, I agree with you.
Good.
I think though, I still feel that hip hop is innocent in this situation. I still feel that right now.
It's the individuals in hip hop that are not innocent.
I feel that like what we gotta do, kids need to be taught the craft.
Yeah.
Kids need to be taught that it's the raps, it's the rhyming, it's the craft that you gotta get right. Because kids are chasing the accessories. So we gotta literally show that the reason why Lil Wayne is where he's at is because of the craft. You know what I mean? No matter whether it's lean, whether it's tattoo, it's the craft. So I think that nowadays there's less time being put on the craft and more time where people are chasing accessories.
But that's the influence.
And the influence whether it's the money before the talent, whether it's the bitches before the condom, whether it's the drugs before rehabilitation, all this shit, for me, I feel that like we need to bring people back to the craft.